Okay.
Wow, that is a challenge to you, Enoch Adeboye. Now you are the grandmaster. Your son said that you're the grandmaster. So as the grandmaster, there's a challenge from Raphael, and I second that challenge. Come out, if you are truly of God, Enoch Adeboye, Enoch Adejare Adeboye, come out and speak against this. Say something, don't keep quiet. Evil is what keep quiet.
Okay, so they're seconding it, right? Okay, now, see, brethren, hear me. I see why I said I'm not going to be part of this deception and what they're doing here. You need to understand how these people reason and think. So, truth to these people or a challenge is only based on when we are speaking out against our common enemy. So, if one of us should mess up like them or do the same thing, no, it's okay. We don't mind that. Now, watch this. Now, they've made a challenge, right? Now, I have a challenge for them as well. And I want to play something before I make that challenge. Now, this is not about Daddy Freeze, but I want to use this to make a challenge so that people can understand the hypocrisy. How
anybody telling you that it's only through Jesus that I can get through God is trying to get at your money.
So this is the challenge I want to make here. Just give me one moment. I want you to see this, just this short clip. And there's a point I want to make with this clip. Okay, let's go. I want you to listen to this. This, of course, many of you are already aware of this video, but there's a point I want to make with this. Listen.
Anybody telling you that it's only through Jesus that I can get through God is trying to get at your money. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to break your heart. The person's a liar and a thief. Anybody telling you that it's only through Jesus that I can get through God is trying to get at your money. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to break your heart. The person's a liar and a thief. Anybody telling you that it's only through Jesus that I can get through God is trying to get at your money. The person's a liar and a thief.
Okay, brethren, there's a reason I played that video. There's a point I'm trying to make. Okay, so you heard Raphael and Mayowa challenge Adeboye to come and criticize that, right? Okay, so I want to make a challenge. Raphael and Mayowa, if you know you are not hypocrites, I want you to challenge what Daddy Freeze just said, that thing I played. If you don't, the same way, and I agree with your challenge to Adeboye, okay? You see, brethren, I'm bringing this out to show you how these people play partisan politics and how hypocritical they are, okay? Now, let's be very frank and honest with ourselves. Let's assume that it was Adeboye that said what Daddy Freeze just said. This video is not about Daddy Freeze. Don't get me, we've trashed that, but I'm using this to make a point, to show you how big of a hypocrite or hypocrites these guys are. So let's assume that it was Adeboye, knowing fully well that made this statement that the Freeze just made. And you know how he talks without his voice, and they got hold of that clip. Adeboye now said, you know how he talks, slowly, and just went, anybody telling you that Jesus is the only way to God is a liar and a thief. The person is trying to get at your money. Let us be very honest, brethren. If it was Adeboye that made that statement, what do you think the Mayowa and Raphael and DSA would have done? Hey! He would have been minced meat! He would have been minced meat! Can you see the hypocrisy we are talking about here? Raphael and Mayowa are there hypocritically challenging Adeboye, yet there's somebody here. Equal damage. When Adeboye said, oh, if you don't pay tithes, you're not going to make heaven. Oh, Daddy Freeze's platform and Adelaja's platform, they made meal out of that. And I also made meal out of that because I haven't commented on that. And I agree, that statement was very careless. And of course, it really shows he lacked understanding. And he was even condemning himself by saying that. But the question is that, let me ask you a question, brethren. How many voices did you hear when Daddy Freeze uttered this nonsense? Did you hear Mayowa's voice? Did you hear Raphael's voice? If I had not brought out that video, how many people even cared? You see why somebody said these people worship this man more than Jesus. Somebody will insult Jesus, but it's okay. But you're concerned about the one that is going through Arotutu and all that, which of course we know is wrong. But the one, because he's your man, you're not coming out to speak. What kind of hypocrisy is that? You are challenging Adeboye to come and speak out. And Raphael, now I am challenging you and Mayowa, and let's all challenge them. If you say you say your side of the truth, you hear Raphael say, I am committed to the truth. I challenge you now. If you do not fulfill this challenge, and you expect Adeboye to do that, then you've confirmed yourself to be a hypocrite, because you cannot expect Adeboye to do the thing you cannot do. If you are really on the side of the truth, I challenge Mayowa and I challenge Raphael and all those supporters of DSA and Daddy Freeze to come and challenge his very statement. But brethren, they will not do that. Let's carry on. Now, I want to begin to go into Flair's videos and other videos, but I want us to see what led to the confrontation between, not a confrontation, how they started demonizing the sister Flair. Ezine, in connection with Flair and Ulysses. And I'll begin to go into some of those allegations so that we can see the hard evidence to show that these things this guy was saying was true. Even though he exaggerated it. I mean, this Ngila guy. So I want to play the part where he started talking about Adelaja, how he added his own salt and pepper.
That is a challenge to you, Enoch Adeboye.
So let's listen.
Now you are the grandmaster. Your son said that you're the grandmaster. So as the grandmaster, there is a challenge from Raphael, and I second that challenge. Come out if you are truly of God, Enoch Adeboye. Okay, let's hear it.
I just want to take it forward to the part where he's trying to find where he started talking about Adelaja. So sorry, guys.
They changed their ways because anybody under your witchcraft coven. Grace means that you do not lie. It is an unmerited favor. With grace, you don't have to lie about anything. I am sure that you do not have any grace on you. And you're saying that somebody has from what he was doing to start saying this. I would repeat this part so that you could hear. There is nothing to hide here. Look at it.
Allowed to stay at home out of psychological depression. We are praying for that God should restore him back from grace that he has fallen. This man of God has fallen from grace, slept with.
Hey, I mean, these people, what is the lies? What is falling from grace other than what is happening to you? First of all, you don't have grace.
Okay, I don't think I caught that part where he talked about it fully. Let me see if I can catch it.
I'm a grandmaster, Daddy Freeze, and the spirit of deep falling.
From grace, slept with 30 daughters of his church. We
Aha.
are praying for.
Okay. So this is it. Okay, let's listen to it.
Excuse me. They send it to Ukraine. Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear what this guy is going to say. All lies.
She said all lies.
God I was praying for.
Did you hear that? All lies. She didn't say he exaggerated. Mayowa claims all lies. But listen.
We are praying for that God should restore him back from grace that he has fallen.
One man of God that we are praying for, that God should restore him back from grace that he has fallen. This man of God has fallen from grace, slept with 30 daughters of his church, pregnanted 10, and was dismissed and allowed to stay at home out of psychological depression. He attacks Oyedepo, Adeboye, he attacks Dr. Paul Eneche, he attacks David Joshua, he attacks everybody that you can know.
Hey, you see this guy, right? So now this guy is saying that he complete lies, okay? So the man of God in Ukraine impregnated 30 girls, 30 daughters of his church. So his church is full of white people, right? So he impregnated 30 of them, and you're in Europe where you would have been arrested. Everything that that you can even find out, facts that you can go and you can find out, that you can come to Ukraine and find out. And he has the boldness. You see, this is one of the reasons why I cannot respect any of these people. All of the people that this guy mentioned, I can never ever respect them.
All right, you see what Mayowa is doing here, and that's part of deception. Yes, it is true that Ngila has exaggerated the matter because, of course, he's trying to exonerate himself. He's trying to punch hole on DSS character so that people would not regard his testimony. You know the example I gave you about the cult guy and the pastor? Oh, saying this guy is a cult guy, don't listen to him, so that people will not listen to what the cult guy is saying about the fact that he's sleeping with women. The issue is this, yes, he may not have pregnated the 10 and all that, but the reality is that he slept with those women. He did, and DSA has lied. He lied to us on the platform. The reality is that he did sleep with these women. He did defile the daughters of God. Whether he said it was mutual consent or not, he did. So Mayowa should not make it seem like he's completely innocent. And I'm going to show you that it's a fact that he did. Okay? So let's just go on first. I would bring in Flair's issue, and I'll bring in the Ulysses that he's talked about, so that we can see.
Other than the love that God said I should give them, unless they change their ways. Because if this liar here, me that I am here and I see what
Staying back from grace.
because there's no need for you to lie. Why all these lies?
You see why all these lies?
From what he was doing to start saying this.
Yes, that's true. He's diverting attention, but he's not. But there is no. It's not all. They are not all lies.
Ezine, you know what, right? The last time I blocked you.
Aha. So this is where the drama starts. Now let me explain to you what's going on before I play this video. That's our sister Ezine. I want you to observe what was this sister's crime? What did she say? You know, and Maiwa has deleted all the videos, but I was privy to like discuss with her, and she just told me all she said was, you know, let's please stop defending DSA. You know, stop defending him. And DSA himself has said, don't defend me, because DSA even knows that he's guilty. But he says that so that people will not be shocked when they find out the truth. That's all this sister said. That's all she said. And the reason I want people to see this is to be so that when I begin to play my videos in future or other people's videos, you begin to understand what is going on. Now watch what they did to this sister just because she said don't defend DSA. Because you know what because this sister is informed. She knows what's up. She really knows the truth. She knows that DSA is guilty. And she was just trying to say, hey, cool down. The way you're defending this man is not all like you to stop defending him so that we can give him a chance to repent. But see how Maiwa goes off here. Just watch. And then you know that we are really dealing with a serious court here.
Ezine, you know what, right? The last time I blocked you, don't be a nuisance, okay? Don't tell me who to defend and who not to defend, okay? So I'm sick and tired of you, Ezine. Don't piss me off. You come.
But I thought Maiwa just said people were free to share their thoughts. Oh, are you seeing the hypocrisy we're talking about? You remember that video I played? Calling, you know, let's know what you think, share your thoughts. So you see, with this court platform, sharing your thoughts, you need to understand what sharing your thought means. You know, share your thoughts as per say what we are saying. If you're not saying what we are saying, you know, then the lion in these people begin to come out. You've not seen anything yet. You need to see the comments that they were making. Just because this sister said what? Don't defend this man. Are we not dealing with an antichrist cult here? Tell me we're not. And these are the people that say they want to smash temples and smash idols and cleanse temples. Jesus Christ cannot be part of this. The spirit is wrong in the first place. It's antichrist. It's deceptive. It's manipulative. It's not of God. There's no truth. The Bible says we worship him in spirit and truth. There's a lot of manipulation, lies, and insincerity here under this platform. Their own concern is just let's do a luta against these people who fleecing the flock, as if that's all there is to the faith. Continue to listen. Listen to her. Listen to the tiger and the lion that comes out from this woman. You'll be wondering, is this a raving lunatic? How can someone be behaving like this just because someone said don't defend DSA? How can someone? What kind of spirit is animating this girl, this Maiwa of a girl? And this was the reason I stopped sharing her videos. Listen.
Here like a spy, you're neither here nor cold. You should be spat out, Ezine. And any of you come here, you'll be good 1 minute, you are supporting, the next minute you're not supporting anything. Where do you stand? Don't support me, but stand by the truth. What do you know about DSA, Ezine? Tell me. Call and tell me. You still have your chance now. Call and tell me what you know. If it's not essay.
He says.
Why are you even on this platform, Ezine?
She said it's hearsay. She said it's hearsay, right? Continue. Let's continue.
You should be spat out. It says in the Bible, anyone, you're neither hot nor cold. And that means you're not useful. You're not.
All because she said don't defend DSA. Okay? Are you, brethren, I hope people are seeing what we are dealing with. That's all she said. But you see, you know something that, you know why I first had to play that propaganda thing? Although some of you might have thought that, oh, I should delve into it. Why am I doing that as a foundation? You see, do you know that after this whole thing now, when these people present what this sister did, the way they would twist it and lie and say, Izine came in as a spy for Ingila. She came in she was rude. She was arrogant. She was very disrespectful. These are the kind of lies you'll be hearing. You know, if you were just because this is DSA that have taught these people to lie, to do these kind of things. That is why I have left his platform, and I want the world to see for themselves the court that has grown from his platform. Listen.
Useful to yourself. Don't defend DSA, whatever. Is this a defense? So I should keep my mouth shut if I know something and I know the truth. Somebody, this is one of your papa. That's how you defend Suleiman, you defend this one, you defend that one. I just watch you and I leave you that you are just showing yourself. What do you know? Ezine, tell me. Ezine Oyoma Ogubereku. What do you know about DSA? Tell me, I want to know. What's inappropriate behavior? Who told you? Who do you know? Do you know you users? Do you know you read users' letter online, and that is enough for you to make an informed decision? Who is he to you?
Oh, brethren, please permit me. I would have to pause here because Mayowa apparently is living in either a fool's paradise or Alice in Wonderland. She's living in denial. Who is Apostle Ulysses? Ulysses is or was Adelaja's spiritual father. So we're not just talking about some stranger writing, not like some stranger. Hold on, let me I will just do a brief one so that because what Ezine was telling her here is that, look, these are facts that have been confirmed. Ulysses has made it very clear. He wrote a letter confirming these things where Adelaja even confessed to him that he had defiled. He had been with like over 30 to 35 women. So that was what Iginla was talking about. But even though he added the salt and pepper, it's true. It has now become a fact. It's not even hearsay again or to say hearsay, but this platform is so cultic. They keep hiding this reality, and it's difficult for me to believe that Mayowa is not aware of these things. Hold on, let me find you need to know who Ulysses is so that you would know. Let me just let me take you to a link that would confirm what I'm about to say. I just hope I find it real quick. I hope that link is still there. It's a God Embassy site where they confirmed. Hope I can't find it. Just oh no. Okay, let me play this so that you have an idea of who Ulysses is. I hope that video is still there. Okay, yes it is. So
I'm creating my Wix site.
Oh, this adverts come and okay, I'll skip the advert now.
Create your site now at Wix.
Okay, so this is Apostle Ulysses stuff. For those who do not know him, this was DSA's spiritual father. So he's not some kind of stranger that Mayowa will want you to believe that who is he? She's just trying to how will I put it, obstruct truth and justice. So let's listen to what Ulysses is saying.
Pastor, the way, the truth, and the life, Christian Center. I would like to share my meeting, how I met Pastor Sunday, and it was in 1993. I was a part of a conference in New Moscow where we had brought 1,500 persons together to train them, to develop them. And in the process of that meeting, I had several interpreters, and it just so happened those interpreters were not properly flowing with my style of ministry. So I made a request.
Sorry, I think I must have.
At the time, there was this young man who was just passing through, who, if I would like to try him, I could. So I said to the host, well, I don't have anything to lose, so I will try him. And of course, at that time, when I began to minister with this young man who is Sunday,
sorry about that.
So well, and of course, I was very thankful. And from my understanding, he departed, and I didn't see him again until 2 years later. Now, in 1995, I received a letter from him sharing with me what God had placed in his heart about a father in the Lord.
Okay, so you heard that. I just wanted to play that brief video for you to see. So you see how Adelaja had contacted him about the possibility of him being his father in the Lord, and all that. So that's what he was just talking about in that video. So when my wife is saying who is Ulysses, I think she's not just being honest. She's not just being honest with the truth. So I want to read a part of Ulysses' letter, and I want to tell you the story before I read his letter, so that people will actually see that this is a reality. It's not just and I want you to see what he said about Dr. Sunday himself. Okay, I'm just looking for the link to that letter. There's another site. I can't find it, but on DSA's website, I just can't find the link. I would have shown you where, even on DSA's website itself, they confirmed that Ulysses was his spiritual father on his site. I have seen it myself. So I'm taking pains to establish this thing so that you can see the credibility of the person speaking. Is not some kind of guy. This was DSA's spiritual father. So let me now tell you what led to this whole thing and why Apostle Ulysses stuff is a very crucial element of this of the testimony here. Okay, now what happened was, when DSA started this sexual scandal, he had been decimating the daughters of God, seducing them and having, sleeping with them and all that, including some married women, including his own pastor's wives. So I'm telling you, it was that bad. So this was the whole thing. It got so bad. So what happened was that DSA would not listen to anybody. He became a god unto himself. It became so bad, so they had to say, look, okay, we have to maybe he will listen to his spiritual father. All right. So they invited Apostle Ulysses stuff. This one that my wife is saying, who is he? Who is he to you? Who is he? They invited him over to come and investigate these allegations, because even the God embassy, it was becoming embarrassing. It was tired. But they say, considering his manipulative ways, so Apostle Ulysses stuff came. When he came to investigate, DSA actually confessed to him of these allegations. And when DSA did, Apostle Ulysses stuff, being someone who, of course, that people respected and they regarded as somebody probably of a higher spiritual, maturity and all that, they recommended some things that DSA had to do. He was supposed to step down and hand over the leadership to the elders and all that, but DSA would not. Okay, he even though he did that in theory, practically he wouldn't subject himself to the leadership of the church. You see, later, brethren, when I begin to talk about this one-man show structure, you will see that everything is still linked to this one-man show structure. You see, the spirit of Nebuchadnezzar had taken over DSA. This great Babylon I built with my hands. 99% white. 99% white. Are you the one coming to tell me? That kind of spirit. So even he would not even listen to his spiritual father. I'm not into spiritual father. I believe it's idolatry, but I'm only just using this for the purpose of the argument. And so Apostle Ulysses stuff, when the apostle was trying to put things in order and investigate, DSA was always obstructing his investigation until the man had to now go back, and he now wrote a report about DSA. The report is online. You can find it. The PDF is there. It's not a hidden thing. So when my rap tells you who is Apostle Ulysses stuff, it's a good thing you guys know who he is. So this was what he. I just want to summarize, because the letter is long. I think I have the letter up here. It's long, but let me summarize. Okay. So that is the letter. I'll be putting out all these links as well for people who may want to know. I'm just reading one comment here. Okay, all right, that's fine. So it's quite a lengthy one. I'm not going to read everything. So just to let you know what. So you see, the top says, "Letter to Pastor Sunday, Adelaja, and the elders of God Embassy of God Church, from Apostle Ulysses stuff." So it's out there. It's the same man. It's confirmed. It's not so. When my wife's telling you, who is he to you? This is was his spiritual father. Have you never wondered why you will never hear DSA mention this man? DSA will never mention this man, but he would like to tell you how he went to Japanese parliament and the only black man that has spoken in Japanese parliament, the only black man that has spoken in United Nations, the only black man that has whatever. These are the carnal things people see that make them say that you are jealous of DSA, because they don't understand the gospel. Do you understand? It's like when you're asking yourself that, okay, the jealous of these things, when Paul and Peter were talking about their credentials, or even Jesus, when Jesus, I'm digressing a little bit, but I just want to make a point here. You know, when John the Baptist sent word to Jesus and they said, "Are you the Christ, or should we find another?" I can't remember Jesus saying things like, "Go and tell John the Baptist that I just had a meeting with Herod, the only Jew to have sat down in Caiaphas' temple, the only Jew to have led a revolution against Caesar, the only Jew to have spoken in the parliament of whatever." No, that was not what Jesus was saying. What did he say? Go back to John, tell him the lame walk, the blind see, the deaf hear. That is a credential. It's not Japanese parliament. It's not about that. No, that was what Jesus was saying. That is what he was saying. So, you know, because of that African mentality we have, these are the things that tickle the fancy of these people that follow DSA. That's why you hear someone say, man, you be babao, you be general. Those are the things they like hearing. To say, when DSA will finish tickling their fancy with those things, show them about Orange Revolution and those things, they will now begin to idolize him in their minds. Paul said, "What? I determined to know nothing amongst you except Christ and him crucified." We don't want to know about Japanese parliament. We want to see Christ in you, Christ the hope of glory. That is it. Now let me go to the summary of the letter, because it's long. You can see that it's very long, but the summary is pregnant with meaning, and I want to read it so that Mayowa and the whole world will know who Ulysses is. This was his report after his investigations. Summary. Look at this, and this will also address the lies of Raphael's lies. Raphael and DSA. DSA has sold this lie to the likes of Raphael and many people, that they now tell you that, oh no, you see, with Adeboye, it's a doctrinal issue. We are only addressing doctrinal issue. Live private life. It's not about private. You see, you know how I told you about Adelaja and tithes? Are you seeing what those people were saying about his manipulation? You know why I told you about tithes? Where Adelaja will tell you, he will say the Adeboye should not collect tithes, or that because they are not worthy since they are fleecing the flock. But it's okay. He's okay. He's the one, because the people trust him. You see, so it's the same thing he's done with this thing. Adelaja will twist the scriptures as long as it is for his own gain, his own purpose. Now, Adelaja, you know why Adelaja tells you it's not about his private life? Because he doesn't want to be accountable for all these things you see stuff will be revealing. And Raphael you see Raphael with his zeal. I've told you, it's not about character. It's about character. And I pointed out this thing so many times. See, there's something God impressed on me about a genuine man of God. There are three things that must be present in every genuine man of God. He must know the truth, he must speak the truth, but most importantly, he must live the truth. If these three elements are, if that last element, living the truth, is missing, then he's a hypocrite and a wolf in sheep's clothing. What makes you or vindicates you as a man of God? It's not because you speak the truth. Even Satan speaks the truth sometimes. What makes you different and what makes you a man of God is not because you know the truth. Like Titus says, you speak the truth and you live the truth. There's no such thing as we are only attacking doctrines, not personal life. If what you are doing personally is affecting the body of Christ, then we look at everything based on what the scriptures say. A person who is sexually fleecing the flock is not different from somebody who's financially fleecing the flock. It's all fleecing, for goodness sake. But you know what? The likes of Raphael, because they say I sold that satanic lie, separate the message from the messenger. That is not about me. But the Bible doesn't teach that. The Bible speaks about both doctrine and character. We should examine both. So if a man of God or someone who claims to be a man of God is not living right, and is not, we're not just talking about, you saw my call in the sincerity. I thought it was somebody like David who fell. But so you know what I believe God now laid in my heart? You see, Adelaja, we need to pray for him, and we need those people who are close to him need to speak to him, because Adelaja might have been given to a reprobate mind, but people do not know. Because when the elders of God and Mercy and Apostle Ulysses stuff came to chastise him, that was his Nathan, the Nathan that God sent to David That was his Nathan. But Adelaja rejected his Nathan because he was too proud to take correction, even after his fall. Chris Al, I told you these words will come back to haunt you. You said I was proud. I told you. Look at what his spiritual father is saying about him, brethren. Let's read. This is just a summary. Summary. A pastor is supposed to be one of sexual purity, but you cannot say this about yourself. Haha, talking about Adelaja. This is his spiritual father. I'm reading it out to you. He's quoted Proverbs 6:27, 28, 29, and all that. He said, listen to this. You defiled the sanctity of marriage with your immoral behavior. Hebrew 13:4. You committed incest with your spiritual children. Leviticus 18:21. You committed adultery. Exodus 20:14. You covet thy neighbor's wives. And I'm going to read one of the guys that it was said that Adelaja just slept with his wife. I will read his words and you will weep. That is why when people begin to say it's not about his private life, it disgusts me, it nauseates me, because lives are being destroyed here, and you're saying it's not about his private life when his private life is destroying others. Let's read on. Deception, you see again, deception for months. Although you called me and told me what you wanted me to know, you were still committing unholy acts. All right? Lying numerous distortions to me from the beginning. You distorted the truth. Pride instead of spiritual humility. You went on to attack me, the women, etc. Hypocrisy. Are you seeing it again? Am I the one saying it? This is the spiritual father. I'm not the one saying it. Let me see what someone is saying. Someone is telling me that I'm taking this thing too far. I am not taking it too far. Excuse me, let's not bring sentiments here. Excuse me, I'm not going to be sentimental here. When Adelaja preaches Adeboye and the God of Mammon, have you told him that he's taking it too far? When he calls Oyakileme a master manipulator, did you tell him that he's taking it too far? When he exposes all those things and he calls them all forms of men of what does he call them? God of some. When we get to the part 2 or 3, you'll be seeing it. Oh, because you see, brethren, this is the hypocrisy I can't stand. When an evil act is an evil act. There's nothing. There's no different. Someone cannot come and say if a person is exploiting and fleecing God's flock, it's not. It's okay. We can speak against that. But if a person is sexually decimating God's daughters and ruining lives, we shouldn't speak against it. What is this guy talking about? That you're taking things too far? No, please, I beg. Because it is this thing that has brought the problem to where we are now, and because people are not speaking. And what am I doing, brother? I'm reading Apostle Ulysses' letter. What am I? Is it that you want us to cover up the truth? What's someone saying here? What does the Bible say? Sex outside marriage. Let me continue anyway. I just saw a comment that was distracting. I'm reading his spiritual father's letter. So anybody that has a problem with that, I'm not the one that wrote it. Okay? But you see, the whole idea of this, am I saying this to say, hey, look at what this man did, oh, he's a bad person? No, if you think that's it, you've missed it. It's because DSA kept on lying on the platform. He's telling people that these are rumors. He's continuing this lifestyle with no evidence of his repentance, and people are hailing him, singing his praises, and not knowing that they are destroying this man. But people like Apostle used to stop. They know better. I'm not taking anything far. Look, let me tell you something here. Like I told you, I have the Spirit of God. If DSA like David fell and he repented, like I thought, you saw in my call, that shows you the sincerity of my call, and he went through his chastisement and he was restored, trust me, I'll be the first person to come to stand by him, just like you saw in that call, my intention. And even if he was criticizing them at Adeboye, I'll be the first to tell you, oh yes, I agree, this man fell, we are men, we understand these things. You know, the elders came around, they chastised him, he went for his therapy and everything. He's come back a renewed man, and we're here with him, and that is why he's in the position to even correct you guys. I'll be the first. But you see, you can't cover up manipulation, you can't cover up deception. That is what some people want us to do here. It wouldn't work. Okay, the truth needs to be known so that DSA can repent. And this is what Ezine was trying to point out to Mayowa, that she did not hear. Without this truth, the people like Mayowa will continue like this. That is the point. That is the point people like Hedy cannot see. Because you see the way Maiwa was attacking Ezine. Because Ezine has knowledge of these things. And she was saying, cool down. Look, stop defending this man. Let's go on. Hypocrisy. You wore a mask. Did you see that? You wore a mask of the anointed one. But underneath, you were a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm not the one saying this. Oh, this is a spiritual father. Okay. Devouring any women you desired. You were talking what you wanted when you wanted, but you must remember you were to care for the people whom God trusted you, not abuse them for your sexual appetite. Adultery, evil thoughts, lusts with other men's wives. You were not even concerned. And I'm going to play one of the guy's letters before he died, and you will weep. I've cried a couple of times when I read that letter, and I pray that God will help me to hold my emotions. And that's why you see why I'm not taking this thing lightly. It's not because I'm saying, oh, I'm a saint or anybody's a saint, but let us stop this deception. Let us stop this thing that to say, oh, it's all about doctrines and it's all about private life. You need to see that there's a problem here. Look at what the spiritual father is saying here. He says what? He said, with other men's wives, you were not even concerned, yet you tell your church to never follow me and my practices of correction. You see, Adelaja, you see what he said? You defiled the marriage bed, physically your home. You violated your vows, your covenant to God, to your wife, to your spiritual children. It's obvious you do not see the deceitfulness of your own sick and ill heart. This is his spiritual father is talking. And Adelaja is still on the platform preaching. He's lying to the people that these are all rumors, that is for propaganda against him. Now, this is not an Adeboye follower. What has he got to gain with it? This is spiritual father. Why would not mean well for DSA? Okay. Oh my gosh, this battery is just running low and actually not charging properly. I just hope I can sustain this. He went on to say, when we sin because we do not live. Oh my gosh. When we sin because we do not live to ourselves, the more specifically in areas of immorality, we drop the stone of sin into the water of life, and it spreads its oh, brother, I'm sorry, this is not charging properly, but we just manage it like that. But it goes on to say, you were very angry and cynical doing your so-called repentance in your office. You were informed, but he just goes on talking. He just revealed so many things, and all that. And he just ended it saying, I shall not stop praying for you and your family in him, a bond servant of the Lord at all cost. Apostle Ulysses Tough. So, brethren, you see that this is a serious matter. Now, time is fast spent, but I was going to play Flekarim's. I just wanted to now show the connection. We were playing Mayowa's video, and Mayowa asking, who is Flair to you?
What do you know about him? I really want to try and understand people's psyche. There is no truth in your heart. If there is truth in your heart, you would understand these kind of things. Anyone can tell you anything, you just do it. My line is still open. Please, Ezine, call me and come and defend yourself. Please, let's not defend DSA. Who are you letting not defend DSA? When I know the truth, I will stand always by the truth. Who do you stand with? What are your own evidence of what UC says? I want to hear it. There's a caller I want to hear. Let's get to the bottom of this nonsense. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello, I'm Stella from Lom.
Hello, Stella. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I want to share my own thoughts.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I heard the last thing you said before I tried to call in.
Yes.
You were talking about Pastor Adelaja,
yes.
all the things the other man was saying about him. The fact is, the Bible said that by their fruits you will know them.
Yes.
I've not met this man, Sunday Adelaja.
Yes.
I've only sat in my house.
All right, so good. I don't want to play her call because it's all the same thing we all did on that day. The person who I even was more disappointed with, because this call is long, I can't play it, but they were all saying rumors. You see, for Raphael, I can understand, he's someone I've seen he's never objective when it comes to this issue. But the people that disappointed me, if you get to listen to the whole call, it's even people like Sheung, because I expected more of them. I expected more of people like Shane, but unfortunately he called and they were all demonizing our sister here. So I can't play the whole thing, but you heard her saying, who is Flair, who is Flair? So let me just show you quickly, who Flair is, and I'll just tell you the story about Flair too, and then we will go from there. Sorry, this for some reason my battery, the power is plugged on, but it just it's not just charging. I just pray I can sustain this, and then there's so much to say, but unfortunately I don't know, time will not permit, but there's really so much. Okay, all right, so let me just show you something real quick, because a lot of people are still going to be telling you these are all rumors, these are all lies and all that, even amidst very clear evidence. I want to show you something. Looking for one. Okay, so this is Flair Karim. Just so that you know who she is. She was the lady who came out to expose DSA's a chat with her. At the time when I was calling on that day, I didn't even know what was going on, as I told you. All right, so this is Flair. What happened was, I think in 2016, they were having a chat, and there's no time, so I don't. It's all online. You can search for it. I'll probably post the link there. Okay. When Adelaja was preaching this series of the God of Mammon on the 20th or so, I think before then, she released a chat where she had a there was a kind of illicit conversation where Adelaja was trying to woo her to be his lover, and then she was trying to tell him that this is not right, it's and all that, but Adelaja was still trying, just the way he's wooed others. So the chat was there, and some people may have said, oh, why did she have to wait for like 2 years or almost 2 years before she released it? But again, you have to also understand, when Tiger Woods had his issue with those girls, I mean, sometimes some of things cannot be explained. Why some of these ladies have to wait? There are a lot of things. If you go through Rivka's video, which I don't know if I will have the time to play, but I'll put the link out there, where another lady who was in DSS church for about 15 years counseled about 30 of those girls he had defiled, and the shocking things they said, and they explained the reason why many of them find it also difficult to come out. Now, so what happened with Flair was that DSA was trying to woo her, get her to be his lover, and until he gets her a suitor, she put out everything. The conversation was there on Skype. And you see, that day that you heard me call, that video I played, there was only one guy called Yomi that was able to stand up to DSA, and he challenged him. He challenged him on that day. And if you see the way DSA manipulated the situation and cut it off, I think I may even have that video. The guy, DSA just manipulated the whole thing and tried to evade the whole being accountable, and cut him off as DSA usually does. But I want to play. This was what Flair. Just so much to do. I don't really know, and this battery thing is really not helping me now at this time. I don't know, it's not charging for some reason. This was what she I want to play what she posted.
How much longer must this go on?
You can read this. I'm using a voice machine to just read her letter very quick, so that you can see what she posted out here. This was a staunch follower of DSA as well. So she put it out because DSA was, at this time was criticizing Oyedepo and Adeboye, and I'm sure she couldn't stand the hypocrisy. So that's why she brought this thing out, because the issue is not that DSA fell, the fact that he hadn't repented and he was continuing telling people that it's okay, like to separate the message from the messenger. If it's not about the person's personal life, it's about the doctrines, which we know is wrong, because we have seen from the book of Titus and Timothy that it's all about the person's personal life as well, not just doctrine. So I want to just play this. She titled it Adelaja, Pastor or Predator, and then just to hear what she said.
How many are involved? How many lives will it cost in the end? My heart is still bleeding. They have a voice, but can't speak. They have so much to tell, but suffer in silence. They came with hope, they left deceived. They were enthusiastic, they became half-hearted. I am looking for those women. Some left with shame, carrying a heavier burden. Why is no one asking for them? Where are those women who were ready to change nations for the Almighty God? They all disappeared from Sunday Adelaja's platform. How is it possible? They all had a testimony. Sunday Adelaja, what have you done? They came to you with a sincere thirst for change. What have you done with them and to them? Who's directly involved? Let the brethren comfort all you who are hurting. Let all who know about this speak up, for God has not given us a spirit of fear. 1 Tim 2:7. Where are women who loved Sunday Adelaja's platform but suddenly disappeared? Has anyone asked about them? How is it that nobody cares? People feel comfortable this didn't happen to them. Their family members are not involved and they have no idea of what happened to those women because of the fame or their position. They closed their eyes to the truth. I have been passionate. You tried to manipulate my feelings. I have been patient. You repeated indecent proposals. I have been grateful. You wanted something I couldn't give you. Sunday Adelaja, what have you done? Because of your fleeting fame, success, and authoritative position, have you lost all sense of moral values? You have tried to steal my hope. What kind of demonic spirit leads you? Stop talking about pastors who lie to their members without any covering. Let's talk about women who leave your home without their virginity. Sunday Adelaja, you are in Harvey Weinstein in the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ. I have to bring it to light. As a father, you have aspirations for your daughters. Other fathers also prayed for their daughters. Your daughters have many dreams. Those women had dreams too, but you decided to see them all as praise. This masquerade can't continue any longer. Sunday Adelaja, I formally ask you, give me back my pictures. You forced me to send them to you in private. I publicly ask you to give them back to me. You asked them for your perception while you don't see that your actions lead to destruction. I refuse to be any part of that charade. Those pictures were intended to a noble goal. I don't allow you to use them for any form of perversion. Sunday Adelaja, how could you have such a big rock in your eyes and point at the dust in other people's eyes? You are not faithful to one wife and you are talking about changing a nation. I just don't understand this foolishness. Because of fame and popularity you closed your eyes to holiness. Did you sell your soul to the devil? What have you done? Your Facebook live broadcasts became a hunting ground and Skype a secret place. You asked me to be your mistress. What have you done? You abused my confidence and exhausted me with your stark questions. I have had to remind you your status as a married man. This didn't happen once. What have you done? Your system is well oiled. The women receive the invitation to follow you on Skype. They innocently join you. Just a question, who are you charming at this moment? How many are involved? How many promises have you made and keep on making to them? They are single ladies, single moms and married women in unhappy homes. What are you doing? Are you a thief of wives? Are you a sexual prowler? How can this be? Who said you are doing good? Who tried to stop you? What kind of sickness is it? Are you the Tariq Ramadan of Christians? I had a lot of respect for you. The one who called me is my fear. What are you doing? Daughters of God are not objects. Didn't you find another place to empty your tank? Where are numerous pictures and videos you asked from the countless women you poached during your evil activities? Could you return them back to the owners? What is this kind of animalistic behavior? Who are your next preys? They come to you as their pastor, while trusting their God you pretend helping them with the right hand but destroy them with the left hand. How many women did you rob of their midnight hours? How many women did you rob of their daily hours? You have robbed destinies, you have robbed passions. How many love letters did you write to them, demanding that they love you as their ultimate man? You have killed many with your perversion. You have robbed dreams. You have derailed a lot, all for selfish reasons. What are you doing? How many quit the church? How many lost their faith in God? How many sank into depression? How many thought about killing themselves? How many gave up? How many? You don't care. Molester with an unrepentant heart, what's really wrong with you? Are you aware of the madness of your acts? Are you aware of the wickedness of your heart? What are you doing? Are women intended for this? Do daughters of God deserve this? Are your followers aware of this? Does your innocent wife deserve this? For God's sake, what are you doing? And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded, and Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh, and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. Exodus 7:10-11. In our quest for results, fame, and achievements we don't lose our fear of God. Pagans are also famous and show results. No lie must live forever. The truth must prevail. Number is stand for the truth for the sake of the Almighty God. The truth and Sunday Adelaja's victims. This could save Sunday Adelaja.
Alright, you heard that. So that was Flair's way of crying out. And you know, Adelaja has said before that if, these are his own words, if there's a plague in the midst of God's people, the first thing you do is to raise awareness, right? And after you raise awareness, is to create an alarm. And that's what she's doing. But guess what? Time will not permit me. But do you know when this girl raised this alarm, guess what happened? The likes of Chris Al, many of them, Julie, many of them, thank God Julie has repented now. Oh, by the way, I need to let you know something. That after our sister, our beloved sister, exposed this thing, people went to demonize her. You saw the way they were. You've not seen the half of it. I've not been able to play that full video. Time will not permit me to play it. But if you see the way they went after that sister, you know that video I was playing before, where the sister just said, please don't defend DSA. They demonized her. They called her names. Maiwa called her a demon. Maiwa called her a bastard. I am telling you what we are dealing with here so that you can see that, you see, this is not just a small issue. And this is the girl Maiwa was saying, who is Flair? Who is Flair? So this was the girl that brought this to light. And on that day, people said they want to know what is happening. Maybe in a separate a broadcast, I will have to play the full video of that broadcast. I may not be able to do it today, but DSA manipulated the whole thing. He lied and cut the guy off who was challenging him. You heard my call. I was the one saying, oh, like a David now. David fell. What? I was the fourth caller on that day. I was supporting DSA. There was only one person who was bold enough to say, look, this is wrong. We want to know the truth. And DSA cut him off. He manipulated, just like what you heard the spiritual father say. He manipulated the whole thing. Now, how did this thing come to this level? Why did I come to the conclusion? Because I did a lot of research. I did not just listen to one or two persons before I came out with this. I've spoken with people. Even a guy in South Africa who went for HMT. He told me the same thing with his own mouth. They were in this transformation program before. I spoke with him. He told me how DSA was about messing with his wife as well. It was that bad that he told me DSA will be calling his wife. He wouldn't even speak to him until the wife had to tell him, look, we are going to cut off. If we don't cut off from DSA, it's that our marriage or we're cutting off. It was that bad. He told me with his own mouth. So what about this lady? Let me show you something, because my wife is saying, who is Flair? Who is Flair? Who is Ulysses? Now we saw who Ulysses is, right? Now you see this lady. I want to play this for you so that you would I want to show you Mayowa and this lady Julie. If I can find. All right, so see Julie, because I'm about to talk about her, so that you can. Julie was with Mayowa there
The bad side, everything.
on Adelaja's platform.
Trying to go from there. So what is your potential?
So see, that's Julie, the one talking there.
That you see, and
You can.
this place is perfect for it, and majorly because of Dr. Sunday, because he makes the place, that he creates the environment for you to become that butterfly. Really, for me, I see it so clearly, and that's the reason why. That's one of the reasons why I can't imagine really going somewhere else. I was actually
Good. You see, everybody starts out with a good testimony about Adelaja. You can see, just like me too, the way I've been defending me, just like you see stuff, just like all these people. So you have to ask yourself this question if you're actually putting on your thinking filters. Why are these people leaving? People who meant well. Now, my wife's not going to say, who is Julie? Is she? Because look at Julie with my wife there. Look at both of them. She's not going to say, oh, who is Julie? Because she said, who is Flair? Flair has not even been to Ukraine. Who is this? That's Julie. All right. Now, guess what? It's no secret, and I hope people know that Julie just left the platform about 3 months ago. She's no longer there. Why? Because she saw these things herself. She's seen something. I want to challenge you people. Everybody listening to this broadcast, go and ask Mayowa and ask Dr. Sunday why Julie left. Now, look at when Julie left the platform. This Flair that Mayowa is saying, who is Flair? Who is Flair? Julie went and apologized to her because she had seen the truth. Let me see if I can find that. Yes. Julie, although a lot of people are saying she shouldn't have even done that privately, she should have done that publicly. But fortunately, we have a copy of that and there's no denial. And I want to even say this. If you have been a part of those that have demonized somebody publicly, if you find the truth, the fair thing to do is to apologize publicly to vindicate that person. Okay? That's what we should be doing. That is the least expected of you. So, okay. So, this is the letter I want you guys to see. So this is Julie who you saw on the platform speaking with Mayowa, right? So Mayowa is not going to now tell you who is Julie, who is Flair, right? So, oh, this my battery is just, all right. So I want to pause this so we can read it. Listen to this. Hello, Flair. I just wanted to, oh gosh, I just wanted to say sorry for the way I responded to your posts on Facebook a few months ago. Okay, so why is she saying this? Because she was one of those that attacked Flair when Flair brought out that. Okay, but look at this. Now this is the girl you just saw with Mayowa. She's left DSS platform. I should not have interfered and accused you like that. I see that you were right. Did you see that? Did you hear that? I see that you were right, and I'm sorry that my eyes were blinded. They are open now by God's grace, and I therefore I've decided to leave, go my own path, and build my life the way it will fulfill God's and please God. I hope you are doing well and wish you the best in the world. Blessings, and may God keep you and guide you. So Mayowa is not going to tell you who is Julie now, because you now begin to ask yourself, if Mayowa, is it that she's not aware of all these things? Because if she's aware and she's behaving the way she's behaving and covering up, then you have to conclude that these are very, very dangerous persons. These are very, very, very dangerous human beings. Let me show you someone else again, and you see why. Because the people I'm bringing out here are credible people, so you won't say, oh, these are people that are just against DSA, they mean him well, they are just no. Okay, so let me play this for you. You see this lady as well. I pray this comes up.
Hello everyone, this is Ask Dr. Sunday.
Okay.
As most of you already know, you saw our announcement 15 minutes before this, and I was just to say that you all should go, invite your friends, call your
I'm trying to look for the video.
Listen to the answers that Dr. Sunday will give in this program. They're not just answers.
Okay, yeah.
Teachings that will really help you in life on every issue of life. So call your friends, call your families, and share this video to all your groups, to all your outlets.
So you see, these are people that were there. These are credible people who worked with Dr. Sunday. This is the chief, and interesting, this is his chief bridesmaids of the wedding. This is this lady, Nkiru. Okay, she was on the platform presenting Ask Dr. Sunday, just like Julie was presenting Dear Dr. Sunday. Guess what? She too left the platform because of these same things. So are all these people lying? You see, stuff is a liar. These are all rumors. Flair is a liar. Julie is a liar. Nkiru is a liar. Everybody's a liar but DSA, according to these people. Now, I was privileged to speak with her as well. But, of course, guess what? Because of the sensitive nature of the position, of course, being the chief bridesmaid, she couldn't tell me much. But it will interest you to know how she left the platform. Why? Because she was one of those people who was also attacking one of the same ladies that DSA was trying to have something with, who exposed him. I'll just call her Miss Chi for now, Miss Chi. But a lot of people will know her. Now, what happened was that in the course of DSA also trying to get into Miss Chi, like Flair, was like, this is inappropriate. And she actually now blew it open and said, look, this is what this man is trying to do, because they have these video cams and all that. So they attacked her, as usual. But when they attacked her, she now told this lady, the chief bridesmaid, she said, okay, you think I'm lying? So I'm trying to let you see what led this woman to leave the platform herself. You think I'm lying? Okay. When you get back, tell DSA to take off his shirt. Let him take off his shirt. There's a scar there in his navel. I will draw it for you. I'm not even going to describe. I will draw it the way it is. Apparently, because one of these times, and one of those days where DSA says he goes for solitude, many of these things, these are the things he does. That's what this lady revealed to me. Having all these webcam chats and all that. That's how he was having all those chats with Flair. This is solitude he talks about. You see, we can't continue in deception. This is why we need to be honest with one another. So she had seen him, his partial nakedness in one of those videos, and this was the only way she could prove to this lady here that you see here that is doing this acts, the chief bridesmaid. Look at her, that's doing this ask Dr. Sunday, because you ask yourself, why is she going to leave the platform? What has she got to lose? Again, she said, go to him, tell him to take off his shirt. It was when she and the husband now confronted DSA to say, look, this is what this girl is saying. That's when DSA knew, because there was no more hiding place. He said, yeah. He now admitted and everything. Oh, yes, it's true. But guess what? Not too long after, DSA went back and started saying that this lady that exposed him was schizophrenic and all that. And all that. That's when this woman and her husband feared DSA. Think about it. For Julie, you know that other lady I told you, she used to present Dear Dr. Sunday. For him to be in his house for about a year plus and not know what this man was doing, it goes to show you how dangerous he is. I'm not here to condemn him for you. Let me make it very clear. It's not about the fact that he fell, or this is a bad man is doing. No, that's not the point. The point is his manipulations in the midst of the whole things, how he has deceptively shrouded this. That is the concern here. My concern is not, hey, look at a sinner. No, we as I understand, we are all sinners. In fact, he that's without sin cast the first stone. I understand all these things, but I'm trying to point out to you. Now, let me tell you something. When I called her. Of course, she was not in a position to say much because of the sensitive nature of the whole thing. But what she just told me was that, look, I can't really say much, but all that Flair has told you is true. All that Miss Chi told you is true. She told me with her own. So you can see. Now, there's so much I can do, but I think I want to round up so that people can begin to call. But before I do that, I want to just play. I didn't even have the chance to play Rivka's video, but I'll probably send the link. That's another lady in Russia who interviewed that woman I told you, a counselor who was in DSS church for 15 years, and that video was very good. She revealed so many things. These ladies came and confided in her, told her about how DSA manipulates them, seduces them, and all that. Some of them, and she was not explaining why many of them could not also come out as well. What Miss Chi was telling me is that, now this is what the lady who exposed that thing about the scar told me, that a lot of times DSA usually has something against these women. It's either a videotape or something. And unfortunately, I was not able to play that prank call from South Africa. If I played, I don't know how many of you are aware that a South African also pranked DSA, called him like a prophet, but he was a journalist, and DSA fell for it. You could see that DSA just fell for his trick. He told him about those videos on his laptop and everything, and DSA did not deny all those things. So what they are saying is that a lot of these women cannot come out because many of them, they have compromised videos. Because you see, DSA is a very intelligent man. You need to understand that. He knows how to play his game very, very well. You understand? So I want to just play this before I open the line for people to call, for anybody that want to call. By the way, I didn't even put that number. I put the BBF. I think it's the same one of the last time I put, but I would look for it again and put it there for people who want to call. But I want to play this man's video. I want to play this man. Before this man died, I want to just read to you what he said about Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and you will weep. And if people are still saying no one is perfect, and it's not about the private life of a person, but it's about his doctrines, if they are saying that after this, I know that that person is a reprobate, and I don't want to have anything to do with such a person. Because what we are talking about here is fairness and justice. It's not about no one is perfect. It's easy to say that when it's not your family. That heady that is talking, I say you're going too far. If it was your wife DSA slept with, would you be talking like that? Be honest. This is the hypocrisy we are talking about. Would you be talking like that? If it was your wife he slept with, would you say that? Come out and tell me, yes, I will say that because nobody is perfect, and I will show you who a hypocrite is. So I want to play this. So I want to give you a background to this story I want to tell you about this guy, and it really makes me very it really makes me sad when I actually think about this thing I'm about to play. Let me see if I can find it. So the whole story behind this, and let me just tell you why I find it. This was somebody who served Pastor Sunday. In fact, he also appeared in Rivka's video. To give you a background of this, is like, I want to paint a picture. So imagine how Timothy was to Paul. All right? Just to give you an idea. Imagine how Timothy was to Paul, or how Titus was to Paul. So imagine Timothy was a drug addict before, and we're not that Dr. Sunday has helped a lot of people with drugs and has brought them out, but sometimes you have to ask yourself, what good is it bringing a person out of drugs only to take him back to drugs through exploiting a situation? You know, so just picture how Timothy was to someone like Paul, and imagine if Timothy was into drugs before, and Paul, through his grace, was able to bring Timothy out of the drugs. Now, I'm busy, I'm doing something. Okay, sorry, that was my son. That was just I'll soon be. So imagine if Paul was able to bring him out of drugs and bring him to the faith and all that. Then imagine Paul now going to sleep with Timothy's wife. Imagine that scenario, brethren. And that's why when I hear the people like Raphael say these things, it nauseates me, because they don't know the depths of what we're dealing with. That's not about the life, it's about doctrines. Who told you that? You are saying that because JSA has sold that lie to you. He has sold that lie to you because he doesn't want to be accountable. Face it, brethren. Face him and speak to him. If we love him, speak to him so that he can repent, instead of fanning his ego and his lies. Raphael, if JSA slept with your wife, would you be saying the same thing? Look me in the face and tell me yes, you will, and I will show you who a big hypocrite is. We don't doubt the fact that he's contributed to liberating people with truth. But what these people on that DSS platform are doing is to say that because he speaks the truth, he should not be accountable regarding other aspects of his life. That is the deception. That is the Antichrist spirit. This is what they are doing, and that is why I'm doing this video, because I've chosen to be a voice of the victims, not to the condemnation of DSA, but to his repentance.